Hello all, welcome to Naresh IT Labs. In this video, we will be discussing about the polymorphism concept. Also, we will be discussing about the type of polymorphisms in Java and what is method overloading in Java. Let's go into Eclipse and I'm creating a new class and I would be naming it as method overloading concept. So public static void main I'm selecting, click on finish button. So before we understand about method overloading, let's understand about what is polymorphism in Java. So polymorphism has two meanings, or polymorphism can be divided into two words. One is poly and the other is morphism. So poly means many, morphism means forms. So many forms is called as polymorphism in Java. So we will understand why we are calling it as many forms once we discuss about a concept of method overloading in this particular video. So coming to the polymorphism, there are two types of polymorphisms in Java. One is compile time and the second is runtime. So your compile time polymorphism is also called as method overloading and the runtime polymorphism which is called as method overriding. So this method overriding concept we will be discussing when we are discussing about a concept called inheritance in Java. So this is possible through inheritance in Java. So first, let's understand what is this method overloading and how we can do method overloading in Java. And then we will understand why it is called as many forms at the end of this particular video. So in Java, what is method overloading means? In a single class, if you are having the same methods with number of arguments different or different data types, that's called as method overloading. So first, method name same, data type same, but number of arguments different is called method overloading in Java. So the first thing about method overloading. So take an example. Suppose I have two methods, static void addition. Now in Java, we cannot have method with same name. So this is not allowed in Java. Now let's say public static void addition. So here I want to add two numbers. Now suppose your second method is also having the same number of arguments. This is not allowed. So as per the method overloading, method name same, data type same. Now here number of arguments are different. So here you have two arguments and here you have three arguments. This is called method overloading. Now there is a person or there are cases where you want to add two numbers. In this case, you want to add three numbers, right? So now here I am writing a code which will add two numbers. Result is equal to number 1 plus number 2. System.out.println addition of two numbers is plus result. Now in this method, we are trying to add three numbers. Result is equal to number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3. System.out.println result. So here I would say addition of three numbers is plus result. So here method name is same, data types are same, but number of arguments are different is called as method overloading in Java. Now whenever we are calling this addition, add control space, now the tester can have his own choice whether he want to add with two numbers or whether he want to add with three numbers. Suppose I am calling a method which will add three numbers. I will pass those arguments accordingly. Now if we execute the program, this method will go and call this particular method. So run, and you got the output as 60, which is calling this particular method. So here, this is the first concept of method overloading. And when you are doing method overloading, your methods can be static method or it can be non-static methods. Methods can be static or non-static. Now the second thing about method overloading is method name same, number of arguments same, but data types different. This is also called as method overloading in Java. So method name would be same, number of arguments are same, but data types are different. So to achieve this, what I'll do is here I'm creating another method, public static void addition. So now here I am passing two arguments. So number 1 and number 2 same as here, but here number 1 can be double and number 2 can be double. This is also called method overloading in Java. So now when you are adding double with double, the output will be double. So double result, result is equal to number 1 plus number 2. System.out.println addition of two numbers is plus a result. Now if you go and call the method addi control space, now you want to add the numbers with the double data types, or you want to add the numbers with integer data types, or you want to add the numbers with integer of three parameters, we can choose accordingly. So I want to add two numbers where I'm passing double values. So now if you run, the output would be double of two numbers, which will be 25.2. So this is the second thing about method overloading. Now why it is called as polymorphism? Because here a method can have two arguments but data types different. So one method having two different forms, or one method is having three different forms is called as polymorphism. So here a method is having multiple forms, that's called as polymorphism in Java. Now, where this would be useful when we are working on the projects. So let's take one of the example. So let's take one of the example. So here, suppose I have a Facebook application. So I have a Facebook application. So in this Facebook application, when we click on create new account, so here if you see there is a drop down. So we can select the value from a drop down using month, right? So for this drop down, you can select based on the day. So now here, this December if you pass, that's called as a string. And this 6 if you pass, that's called as a integer. This 2023 if you pass, that's called as a integer. Or 2022 or any year if you pass, that's called as a integer. So now you will be creating two methods, public static void select value from drop down. So where here you are passing one of the argument as int value. Now I am having another method public static. So we have already seen the static one. Let's see how we can create a non-static. It can be static, nothing wrong, but I'm creating a non-static. So public void select value from drop down. So where I am giving a flexibility for the people to select the value by passing a string value. So now you will have a Selenium code to select the value from a drop down. As of now, I'm just writing some sysout. Value selected is. So plus whatever value we are passing, that value I am displaying here. So system.out.println value selected is value. So here you are passing an integer value, here you are passing a string value. Now let me call this method, these are non-static methods. To call a non-static method, I am creating a reference for this particular class. Method overloading obj ref is equal to new. Again I am passing the class name. Now dot obj dot select value from drop down. Now would you like to pass the integer value? Let's say I'm passing integer value, or you want to pass, so you want to pass the string value. Let's say I'm passing here as January. So now if you run this code, so the value from a drop down will be selected based on the integer, or the value from a drop down will be selected based on the string value. So this is where practically we will be using method overloading concept in Java. Now let's take another example. I have an application where you can log in into the application using two different ways. So the first way is where the user needs to enter username. So where we have the username, where we have the password, and then you can go and click on login button. So this is the first scenario. The second scenario, in the same application, I can log in by passing the account number, bank account number, password, and then I have a button called login button. So now here the username is of string and the password is of string. And coming to here, account number is of integer and the password is of string. So now what we do to take the concept of method overloading for this example, we will be creating two methods. So the first method is public static void login, where you are giving the option of passing the string value, string uname, string password. Now in your second method, we will have public static void login, where we are passing the account number and we are passing the string of password. So now here you will have a Selenium code to enter the username, password, and then click on login. But for now, I am writing the system.out.println username entered is plus, I'm just displaying the uname, password, password entered is password, clicked on login button. Now coming to here, system.out.println username, sorry, account number entered is, I'm just displaying the account number, password entered is, then finally I'm clicking on login button. So now let me go and call here. So I'm calling here. So these are static methods. Login. You want to pass the account number and password to login. So where I'm going to enter the account number. Let's say account number is, this is the account number, and the password test1234. So now which method will be triggered when I run this? The method that will be triggered is this method. So where it is entering the account number in integer, password as a string, and then it is clicking on login button. Now suppose if you are calling this method login, where you are passing the string values for username and password. Naresh is the username and the password is ABCD1234. Now if you run, it would be executing this line of code. So this is all about method overloading concept that we have in Java. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.